working for different key technologies like cloud, AI, and lot of latest trends. So hopefully we'll have a good session with her, and feel free to ask questions whenever. So it's more on PMP certifications and all. Thank you so much. Please, I welcome Mr. Ravindranath.
My name is Ravindranath. I'm a fellow office bearer, member of the board of PMI Bangalore chapter. In today's session, I just want to give you a 20-minute quick rundown of what's about project management and how does it help all of us to be better equipped for our professional lives. All right? The subject which I chose today was the relevance of project management into your world. And I actually consider this community as technical communicators, or information architects is another way. You guys architect information. And that's what you make for a living. And we are now living through a very dynamic world, all right? A VUCA situation. What does VUCA mean to all of us? Is what actually is a military-defined description: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. I think that's been way of life, but of late it's becoming a little difficult to assess. And this is where actually the project management comes into the play, makes your life a little better, and you can sleep without waking up in the middle saying that, did I forget something? Oh, I left something out. The previous two speakers, the ladies, actually walked through a real-time life of yours in Technical Communicators. Especially the lady on the left actually articulated very well of what goes on in life, and you just need to be with me to consider all she spoke was about project management. She defined every step of a project management necessity in anybody's life. She took the example of their actual content to be done. She said, I need to handle, receive details, get approvals, start on the scope of work, define what is needed and dependencies. She walked through a lot of things which are the knowledge areas of your work, and you need to manage it without surprises. This is exactly is all about project management. And that is very much relevant to you because you've been functionally experts and you've been doing good skills, but you need to grow up in your career as well. And I want to actually try to give you a glimpse of it that you can continuously grow with what you're doing and have spare time to do more just by acquiring additional skills of project management. One of the questions I got when I entered this venue today is project management only for managers? At the reception, I said, no, that's a myth. And every one of us are project managers in life, but we don't recognize it because we don't see the world through a filter that it's project management. We'll go through that details a few minutes from now. In the present VUCA situation, what actually you are facing through is an expectation globally required talent in your own sphere of life. Primarily, people want you to be in the strategic intent of their business, and you're part of it. You need to grow up and continue to be a leader in the situation and continue to handle technical necessities, which all of you represent. I'm just adding up a little bit of project management to it. We'll recognize to it. The earlier speaker's example is what I would like to borrow. The lady did mention a lot of things which are knowledge areas. Primarily trying to look at the scope, the timeline, the cost, and the sequence of work, and then the risk which is involved, and then ultimately trying to sequence them to do a timely conclusion of your work and be happy and convince the stakeholders that you did a great job and get rewards out of it. All these areas are part of the knowledge areas of project management. Just to formalize your knowledge and structured is what Project Management Institute, since its inception in 1969, has been growing. This is industry agnostic, doesn't have any must-have situations. If you have a flair for it and be aware of it, and you get things in your way. Let's go through what actually it is all about. PMI certifications have been around. We are trying to go through 5 generations of certification, and it's changing with time and in industry. It all started with the federal industries, primarily the government saying that me, the buyer, and somebody else outside the government is actually supplying. But it has changed to be very collaborative. So these are the pretty recalling certifications which are available, applicable to you. None of them have any precedences. Starting from college, if somebody is good enough with English, has an interest to actually acquire knowledge on project management, people can start with CAPM. It doesn't have a role. You're fresh from college, you want to know about the knowledge areas, just write an exam. You're a certified associated project manager. Then you put in hours of work. If you have 4,500 hours of experience, either I'm just assisting a person in the project, or I'm a team lead, or I'm a technical communicator or documentation team member, or working in a project. It doesn't matter what you do in life. But if you're doing work on a project and you put in 4,500 hours of experience, you become eligible automatically to explore and then certify as PMP. Project management professional status is that which gives you a lot of benefits, which I'll walk you through in the next 10 minutes. This is one of the milestones. When you don't have experience, you do CAPM. When you get experience, you do get into PMP status. And once you have the PMP, then you have the other specialized certifications for your interests and flavors. Primarily trying to look at it with the world, with a lot of product engineering companies getting into agile way of doing things. You could actually even do an ACP certification, use the agile tools, talk to your engineering counterparts in their own languages and their own life cycle of product emergence, product engineering life cycles, and you're there as well. And you're no different than any of the engineering people. You're also as technically qualified in a facet of the product as much as they try to code or build hardware around. You build the information necessities. So as your information architects, you also have an architecture, you have a standard to comply, you have work products to release. You're no different than anybody else in the community of product realization. That's exactly is what ACP is about. In case you get into specialized tracks beyond PMP and you want to continue your career and get to reach out to a larger organization role, that is where all the RMP, SP, and you also have the business analysts. Because the requirement under market research necessities, you also have a PBA coming in. These are the pretty well-known certificates which help you. And mind you, you do have a session of looking up why do we slog, why do we do these things. We just try to increase our own visibility and uniqueness in the industry, and also have some rewards to have a salary hike coming your way. With the PMP certification, mind you, it's been, the survey says, a minimum of 15 to 18% offset from your peers if you have these credentials. And this is across the industry. Primarily trying to stop by, first and foremost thing is the uniqueness of this is it's a globally recognized credentials. You leave this country, you cross the border, you speak over the phone to somebody else, because growingly we are virtual teams. We have areas of competence in each different territory, and different cultures have their own. But what gets recognized and respected across is some of these credentials. So if you want to look at it saying that, look, I'm a technical communicator, they say, okay, you may do your BA, okay, which university, you may do your MA, and I am conversant in these languages. But somebody else has to endorse you on a common datum. Here is an opportunity when you actually take your PMI credentials and you say, this is my certificate number, this is when I passed, this is what is my credentials and good standing, you get respected. You travel out and be among the community, you get invited, you get recognized. This is one of the major things which have been there, and this is across the 202 countries. Some of the recognized standards of PMI since '69 is on these facets. I will leave behind some of these information. It's already in public information. Find time to get into pmi.org. You get these standards. If you get to be a member, you get a soft copy of it, and you can have a licensed copy of it for your reference as well. Primarily, it gives you, the whole world revolves around the body of knowledge, where the knowledge areas and how they are structured, what you would look at using it for your day-to-day life. Not only for work life, but also to your life is where this starts with the center of it. We're finished with this 5th edition. We have an ANSI standard. Since 2 months, we are currently active on the 6th edition. And I would invite all of you to come explore this and see if you can use it for your life. Once you have the projects, knowledge and practices, you could actually get into programs because you are handling series of projects. And then if at all you are into business and business analytics, and you have a larger organization charter influencing in the information world and in technical communication world, you could actually look at portfolio of activities as well. So it's the maturity goes with the project is at the bottom of the pyramid, then the program, and then to the portfolio. And this is where PMI has given the standards and the way to deal with this, and you will be able to look at the tools and techniques involved with this. Why does it give you is an intuitive knowledge. You don't need to wait for your other fellow peers to actually rub off their intuition by experience. You could actually do it by yourself, and gives you thinking power, and you can sleep better, and you can manage your work-life balance better. First and foremost thing, I want to reiterate the benefit of the PMI certification. I already said this, globally recognized. You can see 202 countries, you get a unique ID, you endorse it. In the US, actually, if you have a certificate, you get your licenses free, virtually, because you don't get challenged. I think you would have understood most of our doctors get to register in the local medical association. Same way they have to go qualify in the US to be a licensed practitioner. The same is with electrical engineers if they have to do it for health and safety. Now if you have to do your projects and you walk over and say this is my PMI ID, you don't have any extra worries, you just get accepted. So that's the reason you get a globally recognized, and it is transferable across the countries. And if you mention a way and a technique, and if you say this is my estimation and I use this and this is what I would actually put forth as my intent of communication to you, it doesn't get cross-checked again, because you would have used the industry standard, and you also have a globally accepted methodology of these information exchange. So that's a major thing. It can be transferred across. And it's not IT and IT alone. It could be beyond. We have pharma, we have aerospace, we have civil, we have public health. And when you mean some estimates and costs, everybody understands those jargons across the community. Single largest improvement you get is it increases your credibility. It's no more city or country wide or culture wide. It actually becomes universal credentials. So your credibility goes in. Another offside of it is another benefit is you have a preferential treatment in some of these critical openings and staffing necessity. People do list out. One of the illustrations has been that they wanted somebody with these credentials, so you get to qualify or pre-qualify. You jump the queue. Among the equals, you're a little better off. And this is one of the benefits which has been there. See, the whole background of why this credibility comes in is because the methodology, how these qualifications have been standardized. This has gone through a great amount of detailing, due diligence, and then come up to that. And it doesn't get stale. It gets to be revised quarter after quarter to make sure that it has relevance. And this is the reason it's a very hard examination, qualification, prometric test methodology, and you acquire this, and you acquire it with good intent and good interest. It is developed by the practitioners, not by just the preachers. People who have practiced large budget, short budget, critical, mission criticality, all these inputs, what people have faced as practitioners, they roll it in, and that's how actually it gets to be formed up. Valid, and you have the competence which claims that what you are. Tomorrow, if at all you look at it from your professional development units, when you claim that this is what you are a certified professional, and you're 6 years in that, and you have to be practicing and renewing your credentials. And that is a major benefit gets you across. And once you are relocating from one geography to another, or one company to another company, you actually account yourself and you stand to be different when actually you have this certification. You keep reporting and you continue to say what you are capable of and what your competence has been with. Major thing is it is an international standard. The accreditation is done universally, so it's not connected with one country or one culture or one UGC or one ACTIE, and then you get into dispute, then you cross over the border, and then somebody will say, this is your country's certification. We don't know, we don't recognize. Those kind of problems go away, and you have an ISO standard as well. Why I'm trying to say this is because as we are looking at, we kind of look at future-proofing ourselves. Otherwise, we run out of our own runway, right? As you can see, there has been a need of this skill going forward for next 3 years, more than 15 million people. Country is also going through this transformation, the demand, Everybody's patience is ending. They want quick work done cost effectively, manage to get the best results out of it. There's a huge opportunity. You have functional leadership and you have certification, but that can give you only a runway to a level. And then when you have to go up in your own career, you like to be at a management level or at a leadership level to make you a little different from 10 other peers of yours. Here is an opportunity. If you consider PMI, that would be of great help to you. Just to tell you about this community. You see, these are the numbers. PMI has been subscribing to practitioners. And we also have 8 chapters in the country. 8 chapters means that we are city-based, but we have regional responsibility. Bangalore happened to be almost 19 years now. We are here. We were the earliest pioneering people. Then the largest chapter in the country. We are also second largest next to Japan in the region. Except US and Tokyo, which is a countrywide chapter, Bangalore happens to be the one. We do have quite a bit of practitioners who have been uncertified, and then they are IT, non-IT. We are 50% in IT. Non-IT is all other industries. So you can take a pulse of it. We are not just stuck with IT. And same as your community. Communicators and information architects need not be IT alone. You may use IT as an appliance to communicate and publish, but you are practitioners with various industries. So these are some of the details which you have, and we have a local chapter for the member, by the member, for the members. We are stationed in Shantinagar Independent Office, and our advocacy and our responsibility is to do community service, train, orient, get to create a network of community people who are practitioners and believers of project management who want to be curious about it, specialize and grow. We have events every alternate week, and there's not a single week which does not have an event in the chapter. It's a self-sustaining, not-for-profit, professional body like any of the other institutions like your own STC. And we are a society, and we are not-for-profit just for the faith to improve the quality of life all of our the professionals. Somebody has a belief in project management, stop by, look up, and feel free to join us. In case you are keen about your training, orientation, examination support, the chapter offers training every Saturday and Sunday of the second and the third week every month. And that's the most efficient training program, because we are not like the earlier or every other dedicated training companies. Practitioners come in and talk and then share their experience and orient people of the knowledge areas. So 2 Saturdays and 2 Sundays every month in the same location of Central Park, the chapter conducts its orientation. You can sign up and then get to prepare for your exam. And then once you are interested in project management, we have a community which actually meets up and be part of it. So this is a thing I wanted to give you an introduction to this ecospace so that you can leverage a little more beyond your technical knowledge and your specialization. For your own career aspects, you could actually consider PMI certification to progress in your career. I'd like to pause here, and I'd like to thank the organizers, and it was a great occasion for us to meet so many information architects as well. Interesting work. And if you walk through one of our trainings in the life cycle of project, whatever these 2 ladies actually presented their life in that production example, you can see through that there was a complete project introduction from inception till the closeout of it. The lady just walked through the details. Life cycle of initiation, planning, then execution, monitoring and control, and closeout completely, including team effort, buying dependencies, hiring, make or buy situations, right? You can think of whatever facets of project management was there. The previous 2 speakers actually walked through. I don't want to bug you with those details. It's a different occasion, so I'll keep it brief because we're trying to catch up for time. I see Nibu as well here. I'd like to pause, and I also like to acknowledge the presence of Sachin and Ranganathan from PMI chapter. We're all volunteers here just to take questions. I'll pause for questions. If there's anything specific, let me wait for it. Thank you.
This is something more towards the agile world of IT. So the concept like SAFE, the concept like ADAPT methodology are coming into the picture, because most of the organization is moving towards agile methodology. So how do you see the PMI or the PMP certification means in terms of the comparison or in terms of the I can say the credibility or in terms of the utilization of the in the project execution, how it is still valid?
From an IT interest, let's be a little, I would say, narrowband. ACP is already there. All the agile practices, what you are looking at, is rolled into ACP certification. If you want to get a recognized endorsement, PMI ACP is available. And as such, in the 6th edition of the standard, we do have the adaptation and agility as a way of life to deliver the project. So we are very much relevant to IT and non-IT as well. The practices and the tools and what we recommend, be it Kanban, or if you look at it from agile, scoping, sprint, Scrum, extreme programming, all the tool familiarity is also rolled into PMI standards. So even if somebody is a CSM and then they have their own, tools and technique endorsement, rituals in it, project management also has the same thing. So we are still prevalent and recognized. And ACP gives you a sandwich world, whether you look at it from a software IT world and non-IT world. And if you're looking at it from a business standpoint and larger perspective, and you are doing multiple product management necessities, and you have a PMO office coming in, these myopic IT-related stuff can't reach there. If you're looking at a business or a portfolio of 500 million product, and which is 10 or 11 million, millions of revenue coming in, and you have a charter of multiple revisions of product going out in a year, such kind of magnanimity of things cannot be just done with the details. You have SAFE coming, emerging, but PMI has been actually professing it for such necessity for a very long time, and that matures up. So that is a mix of it today. So we do have program management and portfolio management and PMO setup coming in, and those standards helping people to get over this agility. But on the grounds of every third week delivery, agility is there, and PMI ACP teaches it, and we practice it as well. So we are kind of a fusion now. We do have ways to lean over to that side of the world and also get to the traditional waterfall model world as well. Hope I give you a little glimpse of things. Thank you. Sir.
My question is about validity of the certification in terms of time periods,
Sure.
and revalidation of your.
I'll fill you with. So when you pass the exam, you get an initial 3-year validation, and we expect you to be in touch and practicing what you learned. So through the year, if you can accrue what is known as professional development units of 20 numbers every year by the 3 corners, either you do projects as in leadership or volunteer, teach, or actually quote your own projects through that 3 years, you get 60 units, you get renewed credentials. So you keep doing it. But if you don't, and you stay away, and then you say, I don't care about it, and you stop learning, then you have a difficulty. But if not, you have opportunity to renew that automatically because you are a practitioner. And that is the only unique thing which gets you, because we do have professional peers like IEEE or any other institution. They don't actually get you there. They leave you behind at the first baseline certification. But in PMI, you need to be practicing. So once you become a surgeon, you better keep doing surgery. That's what is expected, and that's where we are. Hope it answered your question. 3 years is the minimum. And then you get 3 years multiple. And you keep running and you keep contributing to yourself, and then give your PDUs, then your eligibility can extend.
You can extend yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. To me, I certified myself in 2003. I've seen 3 generations of these standards. Every time there's a new generation, I contribute as a reviewer, or I pitch in, I teach, and I keep myself volunteering, and my day work gives me a few PDUs. But how do I make up my 60 is to be a practitioner. So right now I'm till 2019, and then I finish my this year's submittal, then I can go up till 21. So 3 years slab I keep adding up, right? So because I practice, and then I get my credentials going. Right, if there are no questions, we are outside at the kiosk. If there's anything else, please stop by. I really appreciate patient listening. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity, Neil.
We are using the camera people and the and the the stage, the event management team that PMI works with. Okay, and that cross-pollination has really helped us. It kind of rubs off on the teams that they work with. If you've attended a PMI conference, it's like clockwork. They have a lot of people from the from the army, even. Yeah, it happens. It starts
on the dot, and we claim.
You see how we are struggling? I mean, it's not easy, but theirs starts on the time, on the dot, and it ends on the dot. That's not the only thing. It is attended by over 700 people, usually.
So Nibu has just opened the other side. This is called Nepatya in theatre, the behind the screen situation.
Yeah.
So we have a run book. We estimate every damn thing which happens. And there is a role for everybody. Okay, the speaker does this, stands here, and he needs to have this, he needs to have this, and the person who is doing that, and what the person is supposed to do it. Everything is documented. It's a run book, and everybody sitting in the PMO will be looking. Is it going? No, is there an exception? So go fix it. Go fix it, fix it. And if you can look at it, ISRO just functions that way. If you sit in SHAR and in the GCC and you see that panels of people, have you noticed the live coverage in ISRO? People actually keep looking at it, and one guy is giving the time count, and then somebody will be nodding, and then there will be a grunt of all these senior people. They have a role to play, and they give their concurrences. They're all running through the run book where they know what actually happens at which event and what is actually happening. It's a 2.5 minute to a 4 minute launch, and they come and claim and say that it's a textbook launch. It is all orchestrated. They know exactly what it is, and there's no chaos. There's no looking back. Even if there is real deluge, but they know it's a structured way. They respond to it the way. And that's the project management detail. And if you run your life that way, you sleep aram se. You don't wake up. Did I forget something? No, it's all orchestrated. We plan paranoid, we expect realistic results, and we enjoy after that. Yeah, that's project management about.